This is your host and real estate coach, Rafael Cortez. You are listening to the REI Wholesaling Podcast, where every week I bring you the real-life case studies and strategies you need to level up your real estate wholesaling business. If you haven't done so yet, go to reiwholesaling.com. Again, that's reiwholesaling.com. Sign up and get free access to your Wholesaling 101 course. This free training teaches you step-by-step everything you need to close your next wholesale deal and start making big money now. We have a very, very, very special episode today. I am honored to have two of my students here, two of the Wholesaling Business Blueprint students, Shannon and Shelly. They're out of California. We actually sat down a while back and we did an episode on deals and what they were going through at the time, but this happened almost a year ago. You've been at it. You guys have been at this for the last year, right? And really kind of, swimming in the space of entrepreneurship, seeing the highs and the lows. And that's really what this show is all about. It's about the journey of being an entrepreneur, right? What we come across, the learning curves, how we get over obstacles and whatnot. So I'm very, very excited to have you guys, especially have you in the studio. They popped in from Cali on their way to Sedona. Yeah. We have a birthday in the house too, so happy birthday.
Thank you.
And, yeah, so good to have you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Break it down. Give us just a little bit of context on your background, how you got started, what you guys are doing right now.
Yeah, so we've been doing wholesaling for a little bit over 2 years or so. I was doing it prior, and then she's been helping out since last April. Since then, since working with you, we've closed quite a few deals. I don't know the actual number, but just under a year, a little bit over 200K.
Man.
Because one of the deals was so big, but it's been quite a struggle. I mean, we had some ups and downs. It's a lot about follow-up is how we closed this last deal. And just kind of being good people. The book that you were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
What's it called?
Go-Giver?
Yeah, the Go-Giver.
Yeah.
Right. Before this deal even happened, we did a lot for the seller. We were taking her to pick up groceries. We were bringing her food. We were taking her to the DMV, shopping, things like that. And just kind of staying in contact with her, even though we at one point we even thought that it wouldn't happen. Like we thought the deal wasn't gonna happen. We're just kind of just there, and we were just kind of helping her out and helping her daughter out, and so.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happens, right? As we're going through, and right now we're getting honed in on this particular deal. But as entrepreneurs, I mean, the one role that we have is the one hat that we got to wear is problem solvers, right? We have to figure out how to solve a problem for anybody who's in our industry, whatever service, whatever it is that we're doing, in exchange for money, right? There's going to be a problem on the other side of that thing. So it's important to come in and then recognize first off, what that looks like, and then go above and beyond. A lot of times it's just the whole idea that it's the right thing to do, right? I think that can be forgotten. And especially during the busy times, during the times where like, oh no, I just got to get shit done. I got to call and prospect, and I got to do this and that, and then not slowing down to see the real issues that people are having, right, and the real value that we can bring to the table as entrepreneurs. And you guys have done that very well over the last year. So it's pretty interesting, and it's super cool to see that development of everything that's happened and see like the journey of from last year. We were talking about going from a space of corporate, right? What would it look like, for example, in your case, if you were still working at a corporate space, and what that would look like in terms of freedom and finances and all that stuff. So I know like this one last deal that you guys closed, I mean, total game changer, right?
Right.
Before we jump into that though, give us a little bit of context on you. You have a military background, and then you work a regular job. You're in the process of getting out of that, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was in the military for about 6, almost 7 years, kind of straight out of college. And when I got back out of the military, I started this job that I have now, which is a 9-to-5 job. It's a really good job. It's a government job. But it's something that I kind of always knew I wanted to do. It's my own thing.
Yeah.
It pays really well, but I always knew I wanted to be my own boss and own my own business. And so we've started the process of building the wholesaling business. And it's just allowed, it's allowed her to quit her job and be home with the kids and still be able to run the business and, you know, vacations. We're here on vacation and we get to meet nice people like you and learn. And so it's been a process.
I am honored to be a vacation destination. I mean, that's a new thing on my bucket list.
Yeah, so it's definitely been something that we're working on a goal of me actually coming home being full-time. But as an entrepreneur, it's just kind of having that goal in front of you and always moving forward. I mean, I could easily just not do anything and just stick with my job, but I just really love what we do. I like helping people. I like talking to people and just the whole experience, the ups, the downs. When it's up, it's really fun. When it's down, it's not so much fun. But it's good when we're together and we're like, hey, you know, it's all part of it. Yeah. You know, and just kind of moving forward. And I think that's really important too. Is like if you are, you know, looking to be your own boss, it's nice to have support. You know, within family, friends, or you know, other people that are in the same circle as you. I think that's really important to keep moving forward, keep you guys motivated. Like when we talk to you, every time we talk to you, it's like, all right, we just talked to Raphael, now we got to do big things. And we always do, you know, we enjoy it. It's like every time we have a problem, like, hey, maybe we should call Raphael. I don't know, it's kind of late. And we do, like, we'll text you or call him, like, oh, he's probably not going to respond. And like immediately you respond, like, oh, I've had that problem, you know, do this and look at this process. And every time we talk, it's just a different way of looking at things. And I think that's really important is, you know, she looks at things differently. I look at things differently, but it's when you're kind of involving everyone and then kind of getting advice from a mentor like yourself, it really does help. It helps a lot. When I was by myself, I didn't have anything to go to, and now I can go to her or I can go to you, and I think that's important when you're trying to grow.
I mean, well, thank you, first off, and then it's part of the makings of the power team, right? It's like, for example, you guys working as a couple, it can be, I heard it 1,000 times, right? Like, stuff doesn't work if you're doing, you know, things as a couple and whatnot, but you guys have found a way. Right before we were at lunch right before this, and we were talking about how she complements the stuff that, you know, that you're not necessarily so good at, right? She's very, you know, come on, let's get up and let's go and getting stuff done, like right there, and then you're very detail oriented and that sort of thing. So having a good counterbalance, I mean, that's huge, right? Understanding the strengths and the weaknesses that we have as individuals, so we can bring those into the group, you know, space. And it doesn't matter if it's a group of 10, 20, 30, or, you know, 2. You know, at the end of the day, there's still a collective intelligence there taking place that you know, we can rely on, you know, for lack of a better term. So nice. What about you? Your background?
My background was largely in retail management, and then I had recently gone back to school within the last 6 years or so, and taken a job with the county. And, you know, kind of starting my life all over when I decided to jump in last year when Shannon, you know, was looking at coaches and decided to go with you. And I was like, took an interest to it. And in April,
very smart choice, by the way.
Yeah,
very smart choice.
In April,
I'm biased.
We thought, you know what, it would probably be most beneficial because I had taken such an interest that if somebody was going to do it while Shannon was still working his job, you know, and a very good job, that I do it. It made a lot of sense. So instead of paying other people to do the things, and it worked out really good for us.
Nice. So fast forward a year, right? And it's when you think back about like a year ago, would you have thought the stuff that you've done so far was possible? Would you have, like, a year ago, did you see yourself in this space?
We're good at like envisioning things and kind of, you know, making vision boards and stuff like that. And because of Shannon and his passion and kind of my mindset too, and having you as a coach, like, I knew we could do big things, but when it comes true, it's a little bit different than just believing it's gonna. Because when it comes true, it's like, whoa, I can't believe that really happened.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're in this place. I can't believe we were able to do that. And really, I mean, if I started this in April, less than a year to have done what we did is pretty, to me, it's changed our position in life, you know?
Well, it brings your thought process too, right? Like it's I mean, it just forces you to I think, you know, and I mean, I see this as a personal thing. Whenever I've hit a new benchmark, like for me, it's impossible to go back, and it just breaks my thinking. You know, like, okay, cool. That's real. Holy shit, that's real.
Right.
And then you move forward to the next thing, right? The challenges become different. Your perspective becomes different. You said something pretty interesting right now. It's you know, it's on how you see things. Now, Wayne Dyer has a saying, and it's when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And I think that's exactly what happens when we get hit, you know, with a big win, because we're used to the struggles. Oh God, like nobody can tell me there's no struggles. I have a chip on my shoulder with all the struggles. I'll make medals about the struggles, right? We have that, like that's ingrained. It's part of normally it's part of the entrepreneur psyche, because we come in with that hustle mentality, right? We come in wired with that mentality, and struggles, I'm good with those. But what about wins? When you win, like whoa, what do I do?
Right.
Yeah, what do I do? What happens? I mean, that's it's interesting just to sit back and then acknowledge that, right, for a second. Take that win and just, you know, soak in it. So it's easy. Maybe not the right word, right? But it's a lot more familiar to deal with the struggles and the hustle than it is to deal with a big solid win that's a game changer. However, when that happens, like can you turn back? Like,
No.
the runway is laid out, right?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah. So it really breaks the thinking process in a good way, I think. Yeah, I mean, you guys have been doing amazing over last year, and I mean, I can't wait to see what you guys just accomplish going forward. So tell us about this last transaction, the last deal that you guys closed.
Do you want to hear numbers, or you want to hear specifics of like the meeting with the seller?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, how you found, for example, how did you find the lead?
So
walk us through the whole process.
we do a lot of our marketing from driving for dollars. So we were driving for dollars one day. Actually, I wasn't there. It was Shelly and our other son, Ryan, and they came across the property, and I think they got out to talk to the neighbor, and she was sitting outside, and they spoke with her. Right?
We had actually seen her about a month prior, you and I driving for dollars, and then finally I was like, I'm going to stop and talk to her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead.
DFD, wow, driving for dollars.
Yeah.
Driving for dollars. So we spoke with her, and the very first thing she said to us was she was looking to sell her, because we were asking, you know, do you know who owns the property? Because she was just kind of sitting out front for a while every time we drove by.
And the house was really dilapidated.
Yeah.
Really,
So
really
we asked, was she interested in, or does she know who owns the property? And she said, oh, she does. And she said, you can buy it for, you know, this number. And we're like, okay. But she said, but I'm not selling until the end of the year in December, because I have to move with my son. And this is early in the year.
This is
So
April.
you were driving for dollars. You
This
actually
is
got
in
out of the
April.
car and then
Yeah.
started talking.
Yeah.
Who does that?
I don't do it often. I wish I could do it more. Like, I would love to get out and talk to people
I do it
more.
all
You
the
know,
time.
we're always talking about driving for dollars. One of the most effective ways to get out there fast. Like, you're right there in front of them. What happens is that, like, a lot of people don't just like, oh, you know what, I'm afraid of it. I can't, you know, there's people hold back on that kind of stuff. But it's effective. It
Yeah.
works.
Yeah. I think, you know, I think a couple of our best transactions and deals have been
Driving for dollars.
Almost all of our deals have been driving for dollars, I would say.
At least 90%.
I'm a firm believer in it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we made contact, and
Who now I'm curious. Who started the conversation? Was it
with
with the
the
lady?
seller,
Yeah.
Myself.
You started the conversation. Why am
Yeah.
I not surprised?
I would
Love
like
it.
to talk to people more, but you know, I do a lot of driving for dollars, and you know, sometimes it's not maybe safe for me to get out
Yeah.
by myself and do it. But I would do it more if I could. But I did this time, and that started the whole process, and ends up being, well, from April of last year till we just closed end of February, beginning of March.
Yeah, into February.
And there was a time, you know, we thought, this isn't going to happen. We had to get family involved, and you know, we lost contact with the lady. She had the house was really bad shape. It had been flooded for months. We paid and had a plumber come out to have the water shut off for the lady. It mold everywhere. It was bad shape.
Yeah.
She didn't have a phone, so we bought her a
bought her
little
a
burner
phone.
phone,
We'd
and
take
she
her
lost that. We
food,
bought
yeah.
her a radio
She
and hang out with
eventually,
her. And,
yeah.
Talk about going above and beyond.
yeah. But I mean, at some point it became, we were more just concerned for her
obligation.
because the house
Yeah.
was in really bad shape, and she was living there by herself, and she was elderly woman, and it was flooded, and like she said, the water was just running. So we didn't even think at the point that it was going to be a deal. I was just like, we just got to have this water turned off so she can at least kind of get some kind of relief, because it was literally flooded and just water coming out everywhere.
Yeah, we made contact
Wow.
with the family, and there was times where like, is this worth it? Is it a deal? And like Shan said, you just have to do it at a certain point. And so
It's the right thing, right?
It was
Right.
the right
Yeah.
thing. And so we kind of lost contact with the family for a while, and she had gone to an assisted living place and whatnot, and then the family reached out to us in December because somebody was coming around and offering them this, and she just didn't feel comfortable with the man. And I said, well, we would still definitely be interested. And she said, okay, well, definitely. And that started the ball rolling, and we just did everything we could to help her and her mom, because she was in a bad position. Her mom's, elderly, and she needs the money.
Right.
She can't fix the house. She can't live in it. So it is coming up with a solution, like you always say. And
because there have been plenty of other investors that have talked to them over the past year.
Yeah.
She's like, because even when we first met the daughter, she was like, oh yeah, there's been a bunch of guys who said that they're going to buy and help. She's like, I really hope you guys can, because no one else could figure out anything for us.
we
Yeah.
really
We're
tried.
We're like, we'll figure out something. We're like, we don't know the answers, but I promise you we'll try. And
Right.
we're like, hey, we know some people that may be able to help us. We're referring to you, and we're like, we can try. We don't know, but we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
And now we just told her that flat out, being honest. We're
Yeah.
like, we don't know. We don't know how
Yeah.
to go forward, but we'll figure it out together. She's like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
So
And
sorry.
it's like, no, it's fine. I mean, that's ultimately you have an obligation to do the right thing, and I think it was a win-win for everybody. And the house, it was, when it ended up happening, it was like, did that really just happen?
Yeah.
Because it was, such a big deal for us, and it's all been through your coaching, and a year ago I didn't know
anything about
I
wholesale.
didn't know anything about any of this. So, like, less than a year ago, I didn't know anything about any of this. So,
Never
to look
heard
at
of
what
it.
we've done in this last year and having you as a coach, like, it's just been amazing.
Well, thank you. And one of the things that we can't forget about is coming back and then realizing or recognizing those wins, right? Through the process, before you even got to this spot, I mean, you had wins scattered all over, throughout that year, right?
Yeah.
But it's coming back to that space where, okay, cool, I'm making, I'm moving forward. I'm getting experience. I'm solving problems. I'm creating the alternate universe that I want to live in, right? For I guess lack of a better analogy, but it really comes down to that, right? Creating that space where we want to operate from. You guys are making a beautiful job about making that space be a win-win. Especially, I mean, for example, with this case, I don't know a lot of people that would have gone to that extent, right? Mm-hmm. To the extent where, like, you know what, I don't know if this is even a deal, but it's the right thing to do. I'm going to turn the water on for this lady, and then help them out. I mean, you've gone to extents that a lot of people do not go, to get something done. Now the moving into the actual deal, what did that look like? So your follow-up was for what? How many months?
So
April to December when she called us.
yeah, so when we first had initially made contact, she had said that she was interested in selling, but she doesn't want to sell until the end of the year. But as time kind of went on, we don't know if she was serious about the December date or not. But we would follow up. We would drive by. That's when we would kind of bring groceries, check on her, and also call the daughter as well. So we did that for like the first 6 months of just kind of constant every week. I mean, it was literally every week or every other day we would go by there. And then after like about 6 months, I would call like about a month or so to like the daughter and just make sure that she's okay. And then, like she said, she went from the house because the house was condemned.
Yeah.
She went from the house to a assisted living place, and we didn't know where she was for a while. And then so contacting the daughter let us know, and then we kind of got back into conversation with them around November, right? And then December is when she called and was like, okay, we're ready to go now with you guys.
Yeah.
So the follow-up, the very first, I'm like really, like, I don't want to say it wrong, I'm like really, really hard up when it comes to follow-up. Like I do text, I leave a message.
Bro, the magic is in the follow-up.
It's in the follow-up. And she's like, I think that's too much. I'm like, I follow up until they say, stop calling me or at least until about that point. I do a lot of...
I sold it or don't call me again.
Yes.
Yeah.
I try to do a lot of follow-up. And even if it's just a text, like, hey, just making sure if you're still interested or whatever, Anyway, so I do that for about 6 months, and then after that, it's like every other month or a month or two or whatever. So that's kind of how we've been doing our follow-up, and that's kind of what that led to. Because she was like, "Oh, why are you even still texting her? That's not gonna happen."
Again, it's the combination of the two, right?
Yeah.
You have the rigidness and tenacity of something that's in place, a process and a system, and then you have the doer. Like, all right, let's get shit started, and spark up. So I think that combination between you guys works very, very well. And we've closed deals years after starting the follow-up sequences. So they are like, once they're in our world, they never leave, and unless they tell us specifically not to ever call them again. Then we'll respect that. Put them on the DMC, or I sold the property, and then we verify if they sold the property.
Right.
Let me just check
let me just make sure that you're telling me the truth here. There's a magic phrase: "Don't ever call me again." If they say that, then otherwise we're verified. we're verified.
Yeah.
But no, it's. I mean, again, the magic is in the follow-up. Most deals, 70% of the deals, and I know I had I actually followed my closing percentage, and at one point it was 67% of my deals closed. My personal deals came from follow-up sequences. So, it can be the second, it can be the 10th, right? Most deals happen. Most deals get signed between the 5th and the 8th follow-up. So statistically, it's crazy. But if you guys are not following up, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. So what did it look like in terms? Actually, hold that thought. All right, I'm back. Belle was in the other room. So what did it look like in terms of numbers?
You want it?
Oh, now you're being shy?
So,
now you're being shy.
The owner of the property asked for $73,000.
Oh.
Just straight up. We spoke with the family. They were fine with it. And so we wrote the offer for that. It's in an area that's people really or highly coveted, I guess. It's an older home, older-ish, like 70s, 80s. Nice street, but this house was like a sore thumb, a horrible. So everyone was good with it. We write up the contract for $73,000, but we knew when we pushed it out to dispo it was going to blow the phones up, and it did. And we don't usually do like a bid. We don't bid our properties up or anything like that with our buyers. But people just happen to do that. That's well, I'll just give you this.
They wanted it,
Yeah.
So sometimes you find those nuggets, and it goes.
It.
Yeah.
So we had it at $73,000, and we sold it at $186.
186.
Yeah. So,
186.
Yeah.
That math is 113.
Yes.
$113,000. Bam!
Like I said, wasn't the intent. We don't typically bid our properties up. That's just kind of how it happens.
Yeah.
Well, you had a win on your hands, though.
Yes.
Wow.
We put in the hard work. And
a lot of
Love
hard
it.
work.
Yeah. So that was a property that was going to go to somebody.
Yeah.
It was going to go to somebody. It was just who was going to put in the work. And do the follow-up.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, stuff like that, if it's condemned, I mean, you have code violations that kick in. And sooner or later, if nobody takes action on something like that, it will go back to the city. It will go, tax defaults, or you name it, right? It's going to fall into one of those buckets. But you guys staying on that, going above and beyond to really help them out. That's why she gave you guys a call back, right? You guys made an impression at the beginning of that. And then she circled back around to you. One of the things that I always say is it's find a way to become the go-to person for whoever you're providing service to, right? Find the way to become the go-to person for real estate, right? It doesn't matter if you don't have a license. If you don't have a license and you're wholesaling, you can still be the go-to person for real estate for that family. Mm-hmm. Why? Because you have a network. You know people who can come in and help them out where they don't have any resources. They don't have any connections, right? And that's where we come in. That's the X factor. That's the added value, the power team, that we always talk about. Wow, it's insane, 113. That'll break your thinking.
Yeah, it did.
That'll break your thinking.
It did. Because it allowed us to pay off, change our life in the way that we could pay off things and live much freer.
Yeah.
And we continue to do our business as we always did, so we can continue to create that freedom. But that really kind of set us over the edge, and the things that we were wanting to do kind of are right here, right now.
Yeah.
But I think that comes from just, putting our nose down this last year and really learning and working together and overcoming obstacles.
Yeah.
And because there's been a lot of obstacles, and like times we thought this one would never happen, and it did. And that continues to happen throughout the year. So like for anybody who's new to it, like it really is. How many times do I say, I pick up my phone and I'll take a call, and you'll be like, who is that? And it'll be somebody I spoke to 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago calling me that's ready to sell. So, but only because, we stayed in touch with them.
Yeah. Being consistent. I think that's the huge
Even
huge
though
thing.
they didn't return a text or a call for 3 months.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it's
people will ghost
so
you. People
crazy,
will ghost you 24/7. What we do.
Ready, they'll call you.
Yeah. You just have to find a way to be top of mind, right?
Yeah.
Make an impression, find a way to be top of mind, have genuine conversations with them. Really look at the anybody can go off of a script. Mm-hmm. But when real talk is different. Mm-hmm. Real talk is different. For example, you telling them, listen, I don't know, but I mean, we're going to do everything that we can.
Right.
I may know somebody who can. That's being honest, right? That's being radically transparent with somebody else about their situation. People will appreciate that a lot more than whatever a script can provide.
Right.
So yeah, wow, big kudos on that. And great job. I'm really proud of you guys. I really am.
Thank you.
I mean, you guys have done amazing over the last year, and I mean, it comes to show, right, what consistency and persistency can do. If you have that direction and in place. So that's huge. Now, what about in terms of the mindset, right? Tell me about your mindset journey through this whole process. We all have doubts as we're getting started. We all have, issues where I don't know if I can do it, and then you have highs and lows. How have you guys dealt with that kind of stuff? Let's go deeper into the internal psyche of that entrepreneur roller coaster, because it's a fucking roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what's helped us a lot is we're both not very religious, but we're religious, and we believe in God, and we believe that giving back, and we tithe all the time, and we try to do the right thing.
Right.
We consider ourselves good people, but when times are low, we kind of see it as, okay, we need to learn something. There's something that we need to learn from this so that we can get to being better. It's not really about making the money. It's about being like good stewards with it. So even like after we closed this deal, we went and bought the sellers like a living room set and everything.
The family couldn't help.
You went back and bought the sellers furniture?
The family.
The family.
Yeah, the family.
They weren't in a position.
You didn't buy a Lambo?
No. No. But I thought like the family, they're so nice.
I love it.
And I got really close with them dealing with this whole transaction, and I just felt like we needed to do something nice for them because they needed it.
Yeah.
They needed it. So I was like, so I feel like anything that ministered to me from the book that you told us to read.
Go Giver? Yeah.
No. The other
Rhino?
one.
Which one?
The Rhino book?
Nope.
Oh,
The Game
smaller
of
book.
Game of Life?
Nope.
I think
Gwendolyn.
I've given you a whole bunch of books.
I know.
Yes.
I can't think of it. I can't think of the name of it. Nope, that's not
Four
it.
spiritual laws of success.
Yes, that is it.
The four spiritual laws of success.
Anything that speaks
Success,
to you spiritually or blesses you, like your tithing can go anyway. And I felt like, okay, so out of our tithing, I want to give this family something because they weren't in a position to help their mother, and they really, we all worked together, and I got really close with them, and I wanted to bless them and her daughters. They deserved it. So we did that, and I think another thing is like Shannon's always up, over, and through. Like I get all bogged down when there's a problem or a hiccup, and I get all freaked out, and Shannon's like up, over, and through, and we will figure it out.
No matter what, we'll figure it out.
So
Up,
he
over,
stays
and
calm. I get a little frantic, and we balance it out.
Counterbalance is really what it is.
I think
Counterbalance.
my smartest thing is that I
pull-
know I'm not smart, so I always look for advice.
Well, I don't know about that.
I know I'm not smart.
But you guys have that play between the two of you where you guys pull each other back from going over the edge, right?
Yeah.
Which that in itself can be huge. No, it's a beautiful thing. I love to see everything that you guys have done so far, and I'm proud of the business that you guys are putting together because it really is, right? And I mean, when you start putting something like this together and then creating that legacy that you're going to be leaving behind at whatever point, but more importantly making that impact. I mean, for example, in this case, these people will remember you forever. You made an impact there. I mean, not to mention, okay, maybe they meet somebody else who wants to sell a house, and then the first name is going to be you guys. You know what I mean? So that it always finds a way to coming back. I mean, the whole go-giver mentality, I think, goes play hand in hand with that. So wow. I mean, again, $110K on a deal, insane. Driving for dollars. I mean, if you want to get into the pragmatic stuff, we had driving for dollars in there. We had the follow-ups that were tenacious follow-ups, problem solving right there, going over the extra mile and finding out really what the issue was and whatnot, and then helping them in areas that necessarily you didn't even have to worry about, right? Crazy how it works. The whole process is just laid out there. So beautiful. I know you guys are heading out to Sedona, so I appreciate you guys stopping by and then sharing wealth of knowledge with you guys and your experience. It's a really, really cool thing to just be a testimony of.
I'm glad with all of your help through all of this time, even when our coaching was quote unquote done, you've always been there for us at the drop of a hat. You return our texts, you take our calls, and you've been great guidance.
Thank you. Well, you guys are fun to talk to. I enjoy that. Fam, thank you for listening. Every week I bring you the real, the raw, the mindset, the case studies, and the strategies you need to build your own successful real estate wholesaling business. So if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and don't miss out on real life experience and information that can make you millions. It's time to join the ranks of successful wholesalers and real estate entrepreneurs like the one you just heard and take advantage of one of the biggest opportunities that we have in our lifetime to generate wealth. So go to reiwholesaling.com. Head over to my website, again, that's reiwholesaling.com, and learn how to make big profits, make big money by finding, negotiating, and closing wholesale deals from your own backyard. You've heard the stories, seen the case studies, stop thinking about it, it's time to write your own. Again, head over to reiwholesaling.com, click on coaching program, book a discovery call, have a conversation with my team, and you might get an invitation to join hundreds of students throughout the country who are leveling up on a daily basis. The writing is on the wall. Hustle is a season. It's not a business strategy. Take action, start building a sustainable and scalable real estate wholesaling business, and join the coaching program today. I will catch you guys on the next one. Talk to you soon. Stay focused. You got this.